Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we plunge into stacks of information to pull out the most exciting nuggets. Today, we're setting sail into the vast, evolving world of Black Desert. We're going to be unpacking some fresh updates and a pretty thrilling new event that just dropped.
Absolutely. We're looking at the official update announcement from July 31st, 2025. It details a substantial 1.82 gigabit patch, and alongside that, there's a special event focused on making seafaring a bit more accessible. Our mission today is really to cut through all the patch notes, help you understand the biggest changes impacting, combat, character balance, and also a brand new way to enhance your nautical adventures so you can dive back into the game well-informed.
Okay, let's get into it then. See what new horizons await you. First up, let's tackle what the Black Desert studio team called the big elephant in the room: combat changes. The update explicitly states last week's overhaul was a fundamental structural shift. What does that actually mean for players beyond just, numbers moving around?
Right. What's fascinating here is the developers' pretty candid acknowledgement. They're saying this wasn't just about tweaking damage percentages or cooldowns. It was a deep underlying change to the combat mechanics themselves. Think of it like rebuilding parts of the engine, maybe, not just tuning it. The team is still, deeply analyzing its impact across all parts of the game, from the grind of hunting grounds to node wars.
The big guild battles, yeah.
Exactly. And of course, the intricate duels in PvP, player versus player combat. They explicitly stated they get that. For many, it's been confusing, a difficult adjustment even, especially in hunting zones where gameplay patterns really shifted significantly. They even offered an apology for the suddenness and the difficulties, which honestly is a rare and welcome level of transparency.
Yeah, the transparency is definitely appreciated.
Yeah.
So, okay, if players are feeling a bit lost with these new combat dynamics, especially in PvE, monster hunting, what's the developer's long-term goal there for those hunting grounds?
Well, connecting this to the bigger picture, they're actively responding to feedback. They're aiming for a more logical structure. Their stated goal for hunting grounds is to create a clearer progression where rewards genuinely align with the required attack. Power your character's offensive capability.
Okay, so getting what you deserve for the effort.
Pretty much. They're explicitly saying they'll continue to balance areas that are currently under or over-rewarding, and even adjust elements that are just inconvenient or, frankly, excessively difficult. This continuous commitment to refinement is crucial, and it raises an important question, right? How will this ongoing balancing act affect your strategy for farming and progression? It suggests they want you to feel properly rewarded for the challenge, not just hitting a wall or getting too little back.
And what about PvP? Player versus player. Lots of talk about the stone meta and needing balance. For anyone unfamiliar, that's basically when characters get incredibly tanky. What does this update tell us about that?
The update directly acknowledges it. That ongoing stone meta issue, where characters can feel like, immovable stones, shrugging off damage.
Right, like hitting a brick wall sometimes.
Exactly. PvP balancing is incredibly complex, as the developers point out. It involves future gear updates, adjustments to the resistance system, those stats reducing damage or crowd control. They're prioritizing urgent adjustments for certain classes that are currently overperforming. They specifically mentioned Awaken Sage being overtly strong.
Ah, okay. So Sage is getting looked at first.
Seems so. The promise is careful, gradual changes, not massive, destabilizing shifts, which indicates a deliberate, long-term approach, starting with the most immediate problems, then broadening out, avoiding those drastic changes that could upset everyone even more.
Okay, makes sense. Now let's zoom in on some specific character changes, starting with the Berserker. This update addresses their kind of unique movement limitations, especially for players using mouse control. How will these changes make the Berserker feel different?
For Berserkers, the key is really improved mobility and fluidity, especially how they engage and disengage. Before, some players might have found the Berserker a bit, clunky. Movements felt unresponsive or restrictive sometimes.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So the Infernal Beast skill, which was notoriously tricky to maneuver, gets a major improvement. Its cooldown will now reset when you connect it with Smash or Evasion, assuming you've got the stamina. That's huge for maintaining pressure and flow.
Oh, nice. Keeps the momentum going.
Exactly. And furthermore, in their awakened state, aerial movement is getting more fluid too. You can actually change your direction mid-air now without waiting to land, adjust your trajectory on the fly.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. These changes are clearly laying the groundwork for future PvP adjustments, making the Berserker feel much more agile and responsive in fights.
Okay, good stuff for Berserkers. Next up, Let's explore some pretty significant adjustments for shy players, our beloved support class. These changes seem especially crucial after that recent defense reduction standardization affected her. What's the philosophy behind these updates for Shy, given her unique role?
Yeah, this update really focuses on making Shy more stable in PvE, even when she's adventuring solo. While the standardizing of defense reduction did significantly impact her unique Misty Cloud skill that was a core part of her kit.
Right. Big impact there.
Yeah, definitely. But the developers are, they say, deeply reflecting on Shy's core identity. She's always been known as both a life skiller.
Yeah, crafting, gathering, that stuff.
Right, and a powerful party supporter. They want to ensure she can still excel in both roles.
Yeah.
They're actively considering player feedback, especially from long-term Shy mains who really understand her nuances. That's guiding future development. It's a clear signal they value her distinct role and are committed to exploring possibilities for her unique structure, making sure she doesn't lose what makes her special.
That's definitely reassuring for Shy mains. Can you give us a sense of the types of skill tweaks? What should players look out for that will directly impact how she feels to play, without getting totally bogged down in every single number change?
Certainly. The broad strokes for Shy are improved mobility, increased solo survivability, and enhanced utility. For instance, her roll skill gets a significant boost in movement distance and, crucially, provides invincibility against monsters.
Oh wow, okay. That's huge for solo PvE.
Absolutely. Good for escaping tricky spots. Her Shalala skill now serves a dual purpose, damages enemies while restoring HP to allies, and it's much faster to cast. Key defensive skills like Yoo-hoo and Abracadabra now grant super armor.
Meaning you won't get interrupted easily.
Exactly, you can keep going, and Yoo-hoo is even learned at an earlier level, now 30 instead of 55. So newer Shy players get that protection sooner. Even her stealth skill, Hide, has its cooldown drastically reduced, halved actually, to 2 minutes. More frequent escapes. And her Now skill, instead of slowing her down, now applies a significant defense reduction debuff to enemies. -20 all defense for 10 seconds. Makes it pretty potent in groups.
So she brings more offensive utility too now.
Yep. Overall, these changes aim to make her much more capable solo and a more reliable dynamic support in groups, empowering players to approach different scenarios with her.
Okay, moving from intense combat to maybe more serene sailing. The update also brings a new event focused on seafaring. Tell us about the companions to help with sailing event. Sounds like a great time for aspiring captains to expand their crew.
It really does. This event runs from July 31st to August 14th, and yeah, it's a boon for naval adventurers. The core idea is making it significantly easier to acquire and grow your crew members. They're essential for efficient sailing,
I
right?
definitely need a good crew.
So what's brand new is that crew members who previously only visited Velia and Ilia, they'll now also appear at Etheria Port Beach. More opportunities to find them. You'll find a whole variety there, each with their own specializations, like loyal, naive, strong, born in the sea types. Notably, the naive crew member will appear more frequently. They seem pretty popular, so that's good news.
How do you actually get them?
You can buy crew hire contracts from NPCs, Philiboleta Palashi in Etheria Port, or Aislinn Matali and Plava in Velia, General Wharf managers too. It's a clear push to get players more involved out on the water.
That sounds promising for captains, definitely. But how does this event fit into the maybe broader roadmap for naval content? Is this just a one-off boost or maybe a sign of more to come?
That's a good question. It definitely feels like a clear incentive and maybe a test run for future naval engagement. There are two big perks that really push participation and speed up progression. First, if you hire any crew member during the event, the average visit duration for all crew members drops by 5 to 10 minutes.
Oh, so you see potential hires much faster.
Exactly. Speeds up recruitment quite a bit. Second, when you defeat ocean monsters, you get double the crew experience.
Double XP for the crew. Nice.
Yeah, drastically speeds up their growth, making them more effective much quicker. So while it is an event, the strong focus on reducing friction in naval progression, it kind of suggests the developers want more players out on the seas, which could lead to more permanent changes or content down the line, maybe.
Interesting. Okay, beyond the event, what other general quality of life improvements are in this update? Things that just make daily life in Black Desert a little smoother.
Oh yeah, there are quite a few welcome tweaks across various systems, making the everyday grind a little less grindy.
Always good.
For items, Shy's Wisley costume set now offers a handy plus 10% resistance to durability reduction. Great for any life skiller out there. Ship equipment like cannons and gems crucial for naval combat have their additional damage to ships. Ocean monsters increased by a substantial 2.6 times.
Whoa, 2.6 times. That's a big boost to naval firepower.
It really is. On the inventory side, you can now sell up to 20 non-stackable items, like seeds, at once to NPC vendors. Saves a lot of clicks.
Oh, thank goodness, yes.
Yeah. And vehicle transfer time via the stable or wharf manager. Drastically reduced. From a lengthy 10 minutes down to just 3 minutes.
Okay, that is huge. Massive time saver for managing mounts and ships.
Totally. Guild ships can also now be transferred via the Guild Wharf Manager. And for those who enjoy AFK activities, away from keyboard stuff like fishing or training, important safe zones around Velia, Ilia, and Rim Island ports have been expanded, more secure areas. Plus, a new Guild Harbor Manager has been added to Ilia Island, and they even bring new knowledge with them for you to discover.
That's a lot of little improvements that really add up. Any final details or fixes that caught your eye? Anything else wrapping up this massive update?
Absolutely. There are important fixes for Node and Conquest Wars, specifically regarding character damage reduction against siege weapons, like flame towers and arrow towers, making sure damage applies correctly and fairly.
Hit for siege balance.
Definitely. The Solaire's Honor Research Center will now display statues of top-ranked adventurers. And interacting gives a Blessing of the Great Knight buff for 20 energy. Grants plus 10% Breath EXP for 10 hours.
Oh, nice little bonus for explorers. Helps with stamina.
Yep. The main background music for Ataraxion, Bamakea, has been updated too. Fresh auditory experience there. And the popular Thermion background. It's staying for an extra week for anyone who wants more time for screenshots.
People love those scenic spots.
They do. The UI and web experience also got updates, showing abbreviated item counts when searching, improving Pearl Shop purchase settings for smoother transactions, stuff like that. Plus, just numerous bug fixes, addressing everything from character appearance issues with specific costumes to misleading skill descriptions and various BVP damage calculations, ensuring a smoother, more consistent experience. It's a pretty comprehensive sweep to polish things up.
Wow. That really was a truly packed update for Black Desert then. Touching on everything from the nuances of combat to making your life as a captain a little easier. It's clear the developers are listening and actively working to evolve the game.
That really is a key takeaway, isn't it? What stands out to me is that ongoing commitment, refining core systems like combat, especially after such a huge structural change, while simultaneously introducing engaging events and those significant quality of life improvements. It really shows a dynamic development cycle where player feedback is clearly influencing the game's direction.
So, what does all this mean for you, the player? Whether you're a landlocked monster hunter grappling with new combat dynamics, or a fierce PvP competitor facing new balance challenges, or maybe an aspiring seafarer looking to build your fleet. These updates introduce significant changes and opportunities. The continued rebalancing of classes like Berserker and Shy suggests maybe a deeper philosophical shift in gameplay towards more active, dynamic experiences. And that nautical event is a fantastic incentive to dive into naval content. How might these continuous adjustments impact your long-term strategies and, well, your overall enjoyment of the game?
Yeah, and this raises an important question, I think. As the game continues to evolve like this, constantly adjusting its core mechanics, introducing these focused events, how might these shifts reshape the very identity of Black Desert for its players? Will these changes solidify existing playstyles, or will they open up entirely new avenues for character building and exploration, pushing you to adapt in new and exciting ways?
A fantastic thought to leave you with. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep learning. Have you ever stopped to think about what really goes into a game's digital storefront? I mean, it seems simple, right? Just new stuff to buy. But it's often way more intricate than just, throwing up a new item sign. Today, we're taking a deep dive into exactly that. The July 31st, 2025 Pearl Shop update for a pretty popular online game. You, our listener, gave us access to these incredibly detailed notes, and our mission, like always, is to sort of pull out the most important bits of knowledge and insight for you.
Yeah, and what's really striking about this source material, it isn't just a shopping list. Not at all. It's more like a blueprint, really. It shows how these virtual economies work, how they roll out new content strategically, and all the fascinating little rules they attach to different kinds of digital stuff. It really lays bare the careful thinking behind selling virtual items.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Diving into the notes, the first thing that kind of jumps out is this Pearl Shop. For anyone maybe not super familiar with these kinds of games, what exactly is a Pearl Shop? Why is it so central?
Right. So a Pearl Shop is essentially the game's premium currency store. It's the main place players go to use pearls. That's the virtual currency you usually buy with real money, to get all sorts of virtual items, things like cosmetic outfits, helpful pets, maybe convenience items that make playing a bit smoother. It's really the key way many of these online games, especially free-to-play ones, make their money directly from players.
Gotcha. And looking at the structure in our source here, it's not just the shop floating in space, is it? It seems like it's part of a bigger picture. We see these categories like game intro, news, community, customer service. Plus, it mentions language options, English, Thai, login stuff. It really feels like the shop is woven into the whole game platform.
Oh, absolutely. These shop updates, they're never just random drops. They're timed very carefully. They're integrated with the game's life cycle, tied to big game updates, maybe seasonal events, sometimes even community things. It's all part of this bigger strategy to keep players engaged and maybe, gently nudge them towards spending by connecting the new shiny items to what's happening in the game right now. It builds this whole compelling world, really.
Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting, I think. The standout item in this specific update seems to be the surfing outfit. Looking at the details we have, what makes this outfit so noteworthy?
Well, the big thing right off the bat is its limited edition Summer 2025 label. And the notes are super clear about what that means. Will not be re-released after the sale period ends, full stop. And to really hammer home that exclusivity, it adds that new classes introduced after the sale ends will not be able to acquire it. That's not just marketing fluff, it's actively creating the strong sense of urgency, of scarcity. It pressures you, doesn't it? Buy it now or, well, you've missed out forever. It's a classic, very effective tactic.
Yeah, that scarcity thing is powerful, almost like a psychological trick, isn't it? You see it everywhere, like with limited sneaker drops or something. But then the notes add another layer. This outfit cannot be registered for sale on the combined marketplace. What does that mean for players? Does it mean you can't even flip it for in-game gold or whatever?
Exactly. That makes it what gamers often call a bind-on pickup or bind-on account item. Once you buy it, it's yours, stuck to your account. You can't trade it, can't sell it to other players in the game. This just reinforces how exclusive it is, and yeah, it makes sure the money flows directly to the developers through the Pearl Shop. No secondary market cutting into their sales. But it's not totally useless if you change your mind. The source does say you can extract its components for things called cron stones and vox cry. And those are actually really valuable in-game resources for upgrading your gear. So even if you decide you don't like the look, it still gives you something useful for improving other stuff.
Right, okay, so it's not just a pretty outfit. It's got some built-in utility too. Clever. But speaking of how it looks, these notes go into surprising detail about the visual quirks of this outfit. It says when you wear the main armor piece, all your weapons are hidden when you're just standing idle. And it hides underwear, swimwear too. And then there are specifics for different character types. Striker hides weapons, Archer looks different, Sorceress, Dark Knight, Nova, Mystic all have unique weapon hiding stuff. Plus how hats like the cap or diving goggles interact with other gear. I put so much effort into tiny details like that. It seems incredibly meticulous.
It really is, isn't it? But that level of detail, down to how weapons vanish when idle or how it works with different character models, even hiding underwear, it actually says a lot about the craftsmanship involved in virtual fashion. It's not just about creating a new texture map. It's about making sure that digital clothing interacts properly with the characters' animations, their body shape, other cosmetic items. It keeps things looking smooth and immersive. It boosts the perceived quality, makes it feel less like a cheap skin and more like a properly designed piece of virtual clothing. Plus, it avoids potential visual bugs or clipping issues that might make players regret buying it. It's about quality control, too.
Okay, let's talk price then, because our source breaks down the cost for the surfing outfit quite a bit. There are different ways to buy it. First, there's this My Surfing Outfit Selection Box ×3 for 1620 pearls. That's noted as a 10% discount from 1800 pearls. And this bundle throws in bonuses too, like a face decorating constellation box and a cool time title. But it says once per family purchase limit on that one. Then you can get an individual My Surfing Outfit Selection Box, one for female, male, or shy characters each for 600 pearls. And even more granular, you can buy individual sets like the scuba set or the crew set with different shoes like flippers or beach shoes. Even Crocs for the guys in Shy. Those are 500 pearls each. That's quite a spread of options, right?
It really is. And what's super insightful about that pricing, especially for the main selection box, the source actually points out that its price is higher than the sum of individual pieces if you were to buy the separate parts inside it. Now that's an interesting strategy, isn't it? It's not just about convenience. It taps into that psychology where people sometimes want the best or complete option. Even if it costs a bit more per item, it kind of upsells you by adding value through the selection convenience and the bonuses. Even if the raw cost of the parts inside is technically less, it's a classic retail trick, really, making the bundle seem more appealing.
Okay, so moving beyond the limited edition fashion, the Pearl Shop also has these various packages. Let's dig into the premium packages. What's the thinking behind something like the Sweet Premium Coupon package? It sounds sweet.
Hey, yeah, this one's a classic flash sale. Very short term, only available for 1 week. Big discount too, 50% off, down to 405 pearls from 810, and it throws in a bonus 20% discount coupon for later. But the real draw, the thing designed to get people excited right now, is the Sweet Premium Enhancement box inside it. That's where the gamble comes in.
Okay, so what's actually in that box? And what does this tell us about how these games use chance to, well, entice players?
Right, so the Sweet Premium Enhancement box is basically a loot box, a gotcha mechanic, as it's often called.
Yeah.
You open it, and you get one random item from a list based on set probabilities, like buying a lottery ticket, essentially. For instance, the notes say there's an extremely rare chance, like 0.1%, to get 30 premium weapon or outfit boxes. Wow! Slightly higher, 0.2% for 10 boxes, still super rare. More common drops are things like 33.7% chance for just one premium box, or a 35% chance for 500 cron stones. It also mentions things like box advice, plus 170 or plus 200 as possibilities. So it dangles this thrilling chance at incredibly valuable stuff, but you're statistically much more likely to get something more common but still useful, like cron stones. Those are vital for upgrading gear. It's a really powerful way to engage players using that thrill of the unknown.
Yeah, that's quite a system. That tiny chance of hitting the jackpot versus the high chance of getting something decent. It's a clever balance.
Okay, moving on to the premium selection packages 1, 2, and 3. These look tiered. What choices do players get here? How are these different from that gotcha box? Yeah, these offer a totally different kind of value. Instead of pure luck, they give you flexibility and scale for players who want a more controlled investment. Depending on the package Ayatai 3, you get to choose, I think it's up to 3, 2, or just 1 item from a specific list. And that list has things like Premium Outfit Selection Box 3 PCs, or Glimmering Premium Enhancement Box 4 PCs, Ultimate Premium Enhancement Box 2 PCs. They come with good discounts too, 45% for I and 2, 40% for 3, and there's a limit, 5 buys per family, resetting weekly. This structure caters more to players ready to spend a bit more, offering bulk value and, crucially, choice on guaranteed items rather than leaving it all to chance.
Got it. And then there are the general packages, things like the Triple Made package and Double Sailor Chief package. While those premium ones seem focused on high-value gear or chance, what kind of utility do these offer? How's the pricing and purchase limit compare here?
Right. These shift the focus away from cosmetics or top-tier upgrades towards more practical, everyday convenience, things often called quality of life improvements. So the Triple Made package gives you 3 made contract selection boxes for 624 pearls, a 35% discount. Maids in these games are super handy. They let you access your storage or the market remotely, saving tons of time. And the Double Sailor Chief package that gives you 2 Pet Chief Jork Pecks plus some pet food for 378 pearls, 30% off. Pets are also big for convenience, often auto-looting items for you. What's interesting is these general packages have a higher purchase limit 10 times per family. That suggests they're designed for more regular buys, things that help with the daily gameplay loop, not just one-off splurges.
Okay, so it looks like not everything is a limited time deal or a temporary bundle. We also see new items listed that seem like more permanent additions. Can you tell us about the difference there? Maybe using the Wukong outfit set as an example.
Yeah, that's a really important distinction. Limited offers create that urgency we talked about. Permanent editions, though, they broaden the shop's overall catalog and provide steadier long-term income potential. The Wukong outfit set is listed with a sale period starting after maintenance, which usually signals it's sticking around for the long haul. And the source lists a whole bunch of different Wukong-themed sets. Fishing, diving, something called Canapé, Fabilla, Kaki Suit, Vinian, Agris. Quite the variety. prices vary a lot too, from 500 pearls for full sets down to individual pieces between 100 and 380 pearls for that canopy outfit. There's even a full canopy weapon and outfit set for 680 pearls. This big range gives players more choice and different price points for permanent cosmetics, catering to various tastes and budgets over time.
And we also see that Chief Jork Pet is now listed as a long-term sale item too. How does that compare to the Double Sailor Chief package we mentioned earlier? What does this tell us about how they manage the life cycle of these utility items?
Right. So now Chief Jork is available just by itself for 270 pearls, and it comes with 3 bonus pet food items. This is different from that Double Sailor Chief package, which bundled 2 pets together at a discount. Making it available individually gives players more flexibility. Maybe you only need 1 pet like this, or you prefer buying it separately rather than in a bundle. Perhaps you missed the bundle deal. It's really about market segmentation, offering options for different player needs and spending habits. It keeps a popular item available even after its initial promo bundle is gone.
So, putting this all together, what does this mean for someone playing a game like this? We've just gone through a ton of detail from just one single shop update. It reveals so many layers.
It really does. I think this deep dive shows just how, sophisticated these in-game economies have become. It's not random. It's this calculated mix, isn't it? You've got immediate gratification from the limited time exclusives, that thrill from the gacha mechanics, the scalable value from the premium packages, and the long-term convenience from permanent utility items. Every single element seems carefully designed to appeal to different player motivations, different spending habits, from the person who just drops a few bucks occasionally to the really dedicated spender. It's all aimed at optimizing revenue, sure, but also keeping players engaged long-term.
Yeah, it really makes you appreciate the layers of design and maybe even psychology behind what seems like just clicking buy on some pixels.
Yeah.
It's definitely more than just selling virtual clothes.
Right. Indeed. And it kind of leaves you with a big question, doesn't it? In this world of ever-evolving digital shops, how do players actually weigh the value of these virtual things against real money? And maybe more fundamentally, what's the long-term effect of this constant cycle of new, curated, often time-limited content on how people engage with and stay loyal to these huge online worlds?
Definitely something to think about next time you're browsing an in-game store. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.